Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm really, really encouraged to hear the conversation. We're only going to have a few minutes to wrap up, so I think if you can just save it for a few minutes and you can carry on with your discussions afterwards. Thank you very much. We're only going to take a few minutes to wrap up. What I'd like to do is just a few people have volunteered to share what their takeaway is from their session. So, hopefully if you haven't got anything that you've listed as something you'd like to take as an action, hopefully there's been enough to provoke some thoughts for you to think about later and then to take a bit further. So if you just come up and just share with us what your main takeaway is from your session. Which session you were in, well, don't worry, I'll give it to you, and then what your takeaway is.
So I was with Auntie Fiona, and it was about side hustle / freelancing, and the main takeaway I would say is time management, because although you can have the mindset and the willingness to do all these things, you need to have a time schedule, I would say. So she created an Excel sheet, and she put in everything she did for the whole week. So even things like sleeping, commute to work, morning or night routine. And once you have that in place already, you can then put things around it, like scheduling time for hard work, scheduling time for your plan for your future, and scheduling time for how you'd get there, and also be consistent with things. And of course it can seem very, very daunting, and you can think, oh, I have no time for fun. But if you're scheduling time for things like fun, chill, and pamper time, then you'll know that it's actually like, it's easy to get to your goal. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. That's really, and especially I think for those of us who weren't able to join those sessions, it's really great that we can kind of take the learnings from it. Topwe, can I ask you to share from group 2?
Hello everyone. So I was in Sister Abby's group and we spoke about budgeting and saving. Quite simply, the main thing that I took, or I would say all of us took from it, was the principle of saving 50% on your needs, 30% on your wants, and 20% on savings. And whilst this isn't static, it can be quite a bit more flexible in that if people are living at home, you can save a bit more than 20%. And also, yeah, that's it, yeah, distinguishing the wants and the needs. So defining what your wants are and what your needs are. So for example, I use an example of myself. When I started budgeting, I realized that I was spending money monthly on Amazon Prime, and that's not a need, it's a want, so I just quickly cancelled it. But then it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy yourself with things. So it's just a matter of like defining what the needs and the wants are and budgeting it accordingly.
Amazing, thank you. I think there was a question from group 3 or 4 that they wanted to raise back to the panel. Was there a question from group 3 or 4? Or anybody who wants to share their takeaway?
Yeah, so my main takeaway from group 3 was my interest was within property. So the first thing that I didn't know was, the question I wanted to reiterate was whether to buy to let, you had to own your first property at first. So the interesting thing was he said that there's still some lenders out there who are willing to take you onto a property ladder without you having to own your own property at first. And there was the point, another point was, interests right now are at the lowest point, so in a way this is the best time to be entering into the market, even though they're showing significant market decrease right now. So that was a good point.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure, I think there's one group I missed, if anybody did want to share their thoughts. If not, we are just going to have our closing thoughts from the panelists, and then we will wrap up.
Yeah, I think, from what we shared in our section, I think, like you said, it's the best time to invest now is now, certain stuff. And when you look at it, there's a two-way to things. So there is coronavirus issues now. And for some people, they're actually investing now, because what that means is the shares and the stuff in China, it's come to a level where it adjusted enough for people to put their money in and wait for it to go. It might not be the right time now because you don't know how far the issue might be, but it's just trying to let us know that where people are thinking about, yes, this is an issue, for some people it is an opportunity. So, and that's really something to take away. And if you have not started, it's important. It's not about, I need to start with 10,000 or anything. Like you said, forming the habit is far more important than saying, I'm going to do this. Set a goal and then work towards that. It could be 10 pounds that you're starting with. That's your starting point. Then you can readjust. You can readjust later. So that's my takeaway. Thank you.
Okay, so my takeaway would be something I shared in the breakout session, which is that profit starts with the end in mind. And so if you are a freelancer, you have a side hustle, or you've already kind of started your business, is to basically have that very clear understanding of what it is that you want to earn from this freelance gig, from your side hustle, from your business, and work your way backwards. Because by working backwards and knowing, okay, I want to earn this amount on a yearly basis, and this is how much it is on a weekly, monthly, and daily basis, you will then be able to put the plans in place that will allow you to work towards hitting that specific goal that you have, that will help you to achieve the end of year salary that you desire for your business. And then on top of that, when it comes to the actions that you're putting into earning, whatever it is that you're supposed to earn on a monthly, weekly, daily basis to hit your yearly goal, is to have a time management system in place. Because time slips out of our fingers so easily. And I shared with the group that one of the biggest differences when I was able to finally go into full-time self-employment after having failed twice was that I was more intentional about my time, and I made time for hard work, but also made time for playtime, like Oriofe said. And so just being very, very intentional with how you spend your time, because it really is the difference between a successful business and something just being a passion and a hobby that doesn't really take off. So that's my share.
Of also doing something actionable is we need to confront the brutal facts. So I think as an action, really, I would suggest that people just take stock of where you are with, and have been aware that a company you worked for 10 years ago enrolled you in something. There might be a little bit from there. It's really take stock and really understand what you truly have and what you are spending. And at the back of your mind, a lot of things we do are driven by fear. Ask yourself, if it all stopped and you stopped working tomorrow, there isn't that salary that's coming in, especially for those in full-time employment. What do you do? Where are you? What do you need? So I think we need to confront the brutal facts. Don't run away from the envelopes. Really take stock. That's the starting point for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our panelists for their time, both up here on the stage and in the individual breakout groups. Even just hearing the conversation as people were coming back in, it was like, we want more, there's still more questions to ask. So it shows me that obviously the knowledge that was being shared was very valuable, and thank you very much for your participation. I think in a nutshell from our budgeting and saving section, the key principles there were discipline, really, at its basic core, just having discipline and being willing to have those tough conversations with yourself about your wants versus your needs. So just as a final point, we have some leaflets on investing tips that everyone can take away with them. They're just at the table at the back on your way out. We also have the New Covenant Church National also has a program coming up on the 16th of March, which touches on 14th of March, which touches on some of these topics around careers, investments, and that's the Covenant Men International. So if you felt like this was valuable and you'd like to maybe get some more, then maybe if you just wait at the back, somebody will be able to give you some more information. Thank you very much for your energy, your participation, and for being here with us this afternoon. And I hope that you've got an action you can take away with you and share that information with the people around you so that they can make use of that knowledge as well. Thank you.